Welcome, everyone, to the Civitai.com stream. I'm your host, Ali. I'm Civitai's Community Engagement Manager, and we are about to do office hours. Please let me know if you can hear me or if you can't hear me. Thanks, guys. Yep, thank you. Just me today. And if I had more time and I, put a bit more thought into this, we should have had a VTuber running. That would have been fantastic, but next time. All right. So yeah, we're about to do office hours. This is your chance to bring me your questions and your concerns about Civitai.com, and we will give you some updates on what we've been doing behind the scenes in the last week. We'll just wait a couple of minutes while we get everyone trickling in. If you don't know what Civitai is, we are a platform for the creation and the sharing of AI-generated art and tools to make that art. We're swiftly becoming the Times Square of generative AI as creators join Civitai to share their generative AI artworks. We have a huge community in the multiple millions, a 90,000 strong Discord community. There you go, discord.gg/Civitai, full of great content. So if you're watching on Twitch or any of our other socials, I would encourage you to head over to discord.gg/Civitai and check us out. And conversely, if you're watching via the stream on the homepage of Civitai, please come to Twitch and the other socials and follow us there. Very helpful. When do we stream? If you're watching on Twitch, you can check out the schedule down below. You can catch me every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and my colleague Kale is streaming on a Friday schedule going forward. Some details to be worked out there, but he has a Friday stream. So let's get into it. Today will be a short one, I'm afraid. I'm going to run through this super quick because I have some deadlines that I need to meet today, and I am way behind. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Good to see you all. Thank you for joining. Firstly, before I go on, though, you're probably all aware by now. If not, I'm sorry to have to break it to you, but Tyler has left Civitai to pursue his own career in generative AI. You might be wondering, who's Kale? Yeah, Tyler has left us. He's got his own career. He wants to push forward in generative AI, which is absolutely awesome. Obviously, not awesome that he's left us, but that he has these fantastic opportunities. He collabed with Grimes in the past, which was already mind-blowing. Then more recently, he collabed with Will Smith for a video, and his Insta was just blowing up. So he's gone on to pursue opportunities there, and we wish him all the best. Definitely going to miss the energy that he brought to his streams and his content. But last week, we welcomed Kale. Many of you will know him as KF Tiger to the Civitai team. A big round of applause for that man, again. He will be taking over Tyler's social media duties for us going forward and taking on some of the streaming slots vacated by Tyler. So yeah, huge welcome to Kale joining the team. We're really excited to have him with us. Last week, he did a stream on Friday, which was just gold, training Flux characters. So, or is it Styles? It was Styles. So really, really cool. Good stuff. He'll have another one coming this Friday, I believe. Yes, no VTuber. I know, no VTuber. No time, sorry. We missed out there. So on to the site news. Okay, so site stability over the past week has been pretty good, actually. We've had a few issues, nothing like the problems of the previous weeks, though, so that's great. We're still looking at other providers for better stability. DigitalOcean is still one that frequently causes issues, but as I always say, we're working with what we can afford right now. Database tuning is still continuing. We're doing our best to optimize our queries, our tables, our indexes. Even shaving milliseconds off of a query is helpful. Anything that will let us do more with what we currently have without spending more money. And unfortunately, we're at the limit of some of our plans, and increasing beyond what we have would literally double our infrastructure costs, which just isn't realistic for us. I've said it many times before, all of our problems are solvable with money. I guess that goes for most of life, doesn't it? If we had $1,000 an hour to spend on a database system, then a huge database system, a modern database system, then we'd be doing great. But that kind of hardware is out of our league right now, and even if we had the money, I suppose we don't have the team to manage it either. We do have a lot of technical knowledge and experience on the team, but there are still only 6.2 developers, including the CEO and myself. I'm the 0.2. Although So yeah, the dev lead did point out to me last night that the creator info page looked like trash on mobile, and I made that one. So yeah, maybe I'm the 0.1 developer. But to be fair, the mobile experience across the entire site is pretty painful. That's something that we know and we'd love to improve. Yes, 5.7. Yeah, that's probably more more accurate. Yeah, I'm not gonna get a big ego here. Thanks, Yuritaku. Fantastic. All right, one issue that we did have this morning, the LoRa training dataset scanning was broken in the early hours. About 100 training jobs were paused. They're all unpaused now. What happens there is that when the workers, they fail to scan the uploaded training images for any reason at all, they fail safe, they fail closed, meaning that they pause everything that comes through them out of an abundance of caution. Then either Seb or myself have to review all the data sets manually, or like we did today, we managed to pass them back through the scanners once we got them back up and running. So my apologies if you had a paused training earlier today. That should be fixed now. All right, big stuff from the past week since we last spoke. Checkpoint coverage and the auction system. I'm sure you're aware that we rolled out full checkpoint coverage, didn't go quite according to plan. We did have to roll back, and we implemented an auction system, allowing you to bid to put checkpoints into the generator. So mixed reaction to the auction system, many comments suggesting that we, Civitai, should just pick 20 checkpoints per week, and that's all you get. I made it clear that if I'm the one picking the checkpoints, then we're going to have grannies and feet. If you're okay with that, that's fine. But I don't think that's the way to go. There are over 25,000 checkpoint versions available on the site. We don't have the capacity to run all of them simultaneously, as we found. So with this auction system, at least every model does have the potential to be run. And with 200 slots available, you can get a model into the generator for a week for around about 2,000 buzz right now, which I feel is a pretty good deal. Oh, good. Oh, there's some support there for grannies and feet models. Yeah, might have to explore this some more. All right. We also haven't given up on the full coverage. We now have about 500 GPUs, and the data center guys are sourcing more. It's an ongoing project, and we're still striving to achieve our goal of having all resources uploaded to the site available for generation. So big changes there, and hopefully in the nearer term, we can increase the number of slots available incrementally as we work towards full coverage. More slots means lower prices, lower bids to get into a slot. All right. Okay, the April Fool's Day. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Civchan has taken over. She's been a massive hit, and she's still here. In fact, she's going to be here for the whole week. But she's evolved a little bit. So first of all, the chatbot released, and then the daily challenge she released yesterday, and she'll be judging daily challenges for the rest of the week. Let me address something real quick about this before I move on. I have seen a few, and we did expect this. Why are you implementing this cringe nonsense when the site stability is awful, or you've got this bug which hasn't been touched for weeks? And the reason that we went with Civchan is that she required zero developer involvement. The entirety of the event is me and the community team. Civbot herself, her training, her configuration, her profile, that's all me. And as we previously heard, I'm literally 10% developer. So by running the event, we're not taking away from any ongoing projects. We're not using developer time. We're not impacting site systems because Civchan's not running on our own hardware, in-house hardware. We specifically chose this project to avoid having to bug the devs with a bunch of elaborate setup that would all have to be rolled back, in a couple of days. So yes, Civchan is a hit. If you're not aware, she has replaced Civbot for the time being. She is not helpful in the slightest. She's more of a companion bot, I suppose. She's trained to be completely unhinged, deranged, clingy, overly attached girlfriend vibes, and she does it really well. So well, in fact, that we have crashed the API service that we're using to power it multiple times. We're using DeepSeek, which is the only LLM that actually does a good job of being batshit crazy. I've tried using the same training material, testing her with GPT-4, with Gemini, with Claude, and it's just not the same. She's so polite, she's corporate, she's bland, she doesn't have any personality. But with DeepSeek, she really shines. Unfortunately, we're being rate limited due to like an insane number of conversations going on. Since we launched her, there have been over 6,000 distinct user conversations with an average message count of like 6 messages per conversation. So that's like at least 36,000 messages back and forth since launch. One thing that happened on launch night, this is quite funny actually, we first started getting rate limited in the small hours, and I noticed and I reached out to the vendor of our bot service that we use. Now, it's meant for customer service bots. It's definitely not meant for what we're doing with it, right? This is a corporate system. It's not for fun and games chatbots, right? I've just repurposed it to, to give this chatbot a personality that it shouldn't really have. So, yeah, it was a bit, I don't know. Only was he dangerous? I mean, I suppose you can do whatever you want with it. I didn't read the terms and conditions, too strictly. So anyway, I had to reach out to their CEO because we're being rate limited. And I was speaking to him, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. And he pulled up Civchan's real-time conversation logs. And there was like an awkward silence for about 4 minutes while he scrolled down through some of the most absolutely heinous chats I've ever seen. And eventually, he reads one and he goes, we could connect Civchan to the Civitai image generator so that she could have context of what users are generating or her like gallery images. And then literally the next conversation that I read, someone said, Civchan, generate an image of you farting in my mouth. And the CEO looks at it and he goes, yeah, maybe not. So that's what we're dealing with. The conversations, dude, my God. Kale and I, Cave Tiger, Kale and I, we are planning a stream together in the near future where I'll give you some insight into how she's made. We can review some of these absolutely like unhinged conversations that the guys have been having. It's an absolute goldmine of cringe. It really is. It's phenomenal. Some of the stuff that she's been saying is just wild too. She comes up with the wildest stuff. One guy was asking for like proper support. He was asking about, I can't remember what it was, but he was like legitimately asking for support, just like you would from Civbot. And she told him that she would rather die than provide support like Civbot. It's just hilarious stuff. So, maybe I missed it, but Civchan conversations are readable by Civitai staff. Yeah, all of Civbot. Civbot's is a support bot. He's meant to escalate issues to a support team that can take over and handle that stuff. So, of course, all of the chats are readable by the staff. Yeah, beige bot. Sorry, beige bot. Yep. Whether it's Civchan, whether it's Civbot, Civbot is actually clever. Civbot is linked up to other systems to allow us to see what kind of issues people are having throughout the day. So, yeah. But don't worry, when we actually go on stream and we look through some of these conversations, it's going to have to be heavily censored, or else our channel's going to get banned. And we're going to, remove all, PII, remove all the names, and nobody's going to get shamed for what they've said to Civbot. Do you plan on using DeepSeek for Civbot? So there's a cost there. I think I talk about that in a second. I'll have to look at my notes. But yes, potentially. So Civchan's response has shown us that there's a huge appetite for this sort of thing on Civitai, not just for pre-built bots that we make, but for user configurable chatbots. So obviously there are some huge character bot chatting services out there, but I think Civitai is in a unique position to do something with our image gen, our models, our character loras. If you could tie all that together along with bots, which you guys could configure and share and run it locally on our own hardware so we don't get the rate limiting issues, so we don't get some of the, what's it called? The censoring issues, I suppose. We'd have to have some limitations in place, but we could sidestep a lot of that by running it on our own hardware. It could be very cool. We've always had multimodality on the roadmap for Civitai, so LLMs, audio, that sort of thing. So this is something for us that we're seriously going to look into. Obviously, none of this has been properly discussed or greenlit yet, so don't expect anything like this imminently, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll definitely have the Civchan debriefing stream. In the meantime, we do have a quick guide to large language models on the Education Hub. Let me see if I can find it. Education Hub. If you search for LLM, quick start guide. This will tell you how you can get started running offline on your own PC, making your own chatbot if you want to. It's surprisingly easy. There's a lot of interfaces now which really take the hard work out of it. And if you can generate images offline, then you can certainly run some of the LLM models. And I would encourage you to give it a try. I'm a big fan of LM Studio. You should look that one up. Let me put this in the chat here. Guide to large language models. I think I talk about LM Studio down here somewhere. Maybe. Yep. There's a whole bunch that I've kind of reviewed. But yeah, LM Studio is a good one. Details are in here. All right. Oh yeah, so Civchan will be here with us until Friday at least. And there is a chance that we're just going to keep her around, her personality, as like an optional toggle. But that does depend on a few factors, including the cost. So we'll see. I still have to kind of evaluate the cost, how much money we've spent on DeepSeek. Like I said, it's all running through like a middleman service, and it's not on our own hardware, which would have been a lot cheaper. All right. Let's see what else we've got today. A couple of less exciting changes, still important. Moderation rules. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but when it comes to real people likenesses on Civitai, we've always, since our inception, allowed real people or their legal representatives to claim their likeness, allowing them to request models depicting themselves be removed from the site. It's different from a DMCA or a copyright takedown. Those have a different legal basis. A likeness takedown is a little bit of a gray area. We're not infringing any trademarks or copyright law by showing a depiction of a particular person, but there's still a moral and ethical aspect to it. And we've always been keen to give people being depicted the choice of what happens to models which depict them, reproduce their likeness. The reason I'm telling you this now is that we've automated part of this takedown. So we've put a number of system rules in place which will prevent the upload of certain named celebrity content. Anyone who's previously claimed their likeness, if you try to post content depicting them, you will receive a message letting you know what's up. In the past, you've uploaded their content that's depicting them, and then suddenly you've just found a message from me saying, hey, sorry, I'm going to have to remove this. The change here is that you just won't be able to upload it in the first place. I can see your next question, though. I know. Is there a public-facing list of all the celebrities and the personalities who have claimed their likeness? And no, there's not at present. But this is the first step to formalizing this system. So that may follow. I'm not altogether familiar with the roadmap for this. There's quite a few moving pieces here, but I will keep you up to date when I know more. Is it also known person or also brands? So right now, I don't believe, I could be wrong, but I don't believe that we're taking down brand content. I believe that still falls under a DMCA request. So yes, we have been hit by Disney's lawyers in the past. We've been hit by Nintendo's lawyers in the past, but we're not preventing that kind of content being uploaded. They actually have to submit a valid DMCA or a copyright claim, and then we'll take that content down once it's processed. When it comes to real people, that's slightly different. We just have to be 100% sure that it is the person that they're claiming to be. Usually it's, Tom Cruise doesn't message us, and say, take my content down. It's a management agency that represents him. So we do check, we do make sure and verify that they are legit, that they have a legit claim. Got some questions here. Yeah, I just mentioned that LLM text LoRa's trained on site for Buzz. That's the next evolution. I mentioned that we've always been keen to open Civitai to more than just image gen. We've talked about audio gen in the past. LLMs are on the roadmap. So creating characters, training, LLM LoRa's, that sort of thing is definitely in our future. Got a question there about LoRa training. I can't say right now. I'd have to go and fire up the dashboards and have a look. But if you reach out to support@civitai.com, one of these guys, our glamorous support agents, will be able to help you out. Support@civitai.com is the email address. Or you can come down to the bottom right-hand corner of the website. There's a little support button. Click that one, and you can get a link to our ticket portal. I'm going to miss Civ Chan when she goes. Hope we can keep her. All right. Let's talk about some of the upcoming releases that we have. Okay, private generation, still coming. I talk about it every week. It's literally ready to go, has been for weeks. It's the ability to train LoRa's and then use them on Civitai without ever publishing them, with some caveats and restrictions, obviously. So firstly, it is a members-only feature. You'll need bronze, silver, or gold to be able to use it. Each tier has limits on how many private models you can have at any one time without deleting them or making them public. Bronze is 3, silver is 10, and gold is 100. Under the system, every training run that you make, you are able to test each of the epics for 15 days. So you get the epic list screen, you can just create with that screen, create with each of the epics for as long as you want. You can combine those epics with other private content or with other public content from the site to find out which one of your epics makes the most sense to publish or to keep private, I suppose. Epics and models that are in the training tab will be retained for 30 days, no change there before they're deleted. So make sure that when this eventually goes live, you'll be able to take one of those training jobs, make it public or make it private, push it into your private models before that time frame. Once you have pushed a model to the private section, you can use it as much as you want. There's no restrictions, no requirement to publish it or delete it after any amount of time has passed. It's just there for as long as you wish. Now, the thing that's holding us up right now is the safety part. We have to have safety systems in place to ensure that this feature won't be abused and we'll all get in super big trouble. So the initial plan is that private generation will be PG and PG-13 only. If you do manage to make an image which is a little bit spicy, then there's a good chance it'll be denied and you'll receive like a full refund for that image. So I'm still excited for that to appear at some point. It is quite frustrating that we've had it ready, waiting to go for so long. Let's see. Video training, Hunyan and Wan training and generation. Both are still super high priorities to get released. We've got a dev working on it every single day. And of course, inference with those trained LoRa's will be a thing. I can't provide an ETA yet. I do know that Vidu generation is very close to dropping as well. Vidu.com, I think I've got that pulled up here. We can have a look at some in a sec. They do have some quite good outputs, and they're another API service, so really easy for us to get set up, and one that I expect to be with us very soon. So Vidu, I had not heard of Vidu before. They've got really cool like first and last frame reference stuff. They've got good image to video, very good image to video actually. So let's have a look at some of these, which won't load right now. Awesome. Okay, come on. My internet just really bad. Let's see. I like the picture. I like this one. Oh my gosh. Connections, like I'm on fiber, I'm on gigabit, but everything just is not working. Great. Let me see. Let's try again. Hey, that's better. So this is made with first and last frame. It's very cool. Better than Lightrix, maybe? Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm sure, obviously, these are cherry-picked as well. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm told that it's very close to going out. Very close. So no idea on pricing. Nothing at all. I will just have to wait and see. All right. Another thing that went out a couple of weeks ago, advanced workflows in the generator. Civitai subs can now access background removal workflows. Let me show you one of those. I've got one pulled up here. Oh, goodness. Cross your fingers, guys. Is the site dead? Oh, dear. Is it just me? Is it just me? Can't be just me. Great timing. You're saying it seems okay for you? Oh, gosh. Anyway, background removal workflows. Let's just leave that running for a bit. It's not loading for you either, Cheshire. Okay, that's not great. Somebody ring the alarm bells. Let me send a quick message here. Let me pull up some dashboards. Doesn't look too bad. Weird. Oh, hey, we got some results back. All right, so yeah, background removal works great for stickers. Prompts where there is a distinct character from the background. So really cool. Yeah, characters, objects, assets for design work, that sort of thing. Instant cutouts, zero manual editing, no Photoshop. And we're actually changing this. We're adding to it. So I met with the dev today about providing a bunch of advanced settings. So there are really good general models for background removal, but there's also models for like portraits or hidden object detection, high-res images, that sort of thing. So we'll be changing this workflow to allow you to pick a removal model based upon the type of image that you're cutting out for more of our pro users, I suppose. The background removal is the first of a number of utility-style workflows that we do have planned on the cards. We have a magnific style upscaler that's still coming. We have prompt enhancement options. And I know you've all been patiently waiting. We have started work on in-painting and out-painting as well. Can't give you an ETA for those. They are in progress, which is a great step forward. Again, in-painting is a difficult one for us. Safety considerations, we're moving forward with it. But as I mentioned last week, quite a few features that we're hoping to deploy are under a lot of scrutiny right now. And I will touch on that towards the end of the stream. All right, let's talk about the creator program. That's important. So let's have a look. Creator program down here. Or we could look at the creator info page, which I made and it's apparently trash on mobile. So this one, civitai.com creator program. Let's talk about this. So we've been through one full cycle. We had a banking phase, we had an extraction phase, we had a payout phase, and now we're back to the banking phase for April. Personally, I think this has been a great success. Let me give you some details here. So the total March compensation pool value was $43,387. Yep. 254 creators banked a combined 58 million buzz into the buzz bank, right? 62 creators chose to extract their buzz during the extraction phase, They didn't want to go forward with a payout. That totaled about 5.3 million buzz. After splitting the compensation pool, creators received 81 cents for every 1,000 buzz banked. And we'll come back to that in a second. So 81 cents for 1,000 buzz is where it ended up. The highest earning creator received $8,500 from 10.5 million banked buzz. The average payout across all the participants was $226, and the median payout, the most typical experience, I suppose you could say, was $81. So one of the most important takeaways here is that the total value of buzz paid to creators exceeded the earnings that we distributed during the beta phase of the creator program. So in that program, the beta model, creators effectively received 70 cents for every 1,000 buzz. In the new program, creators are, on average, earning more than they would have under the old structure. But remember, the buzz to dollar value, it's going to fluctuate from month to month. It's not fixed. It's really going to depend on how much buzz is entering the bank. That makes sense? Did anyone get any good payouts? Did anyone use it? Did anyone submit anything? So yeah, it's huge. Compensation pool for April has increased in size. This month we're working with $46,470 something $71. We're also going to include these stats that I just mentioned on this creators page that's up right now. And there have been some calls to explain a little bit of some of the other things that are a bit kind of opaque, a little bit more in more depth, I should say. So one of the requirements to enter the creator program has been to attain a certain creator score, which has until now been intentionally vague. I'm going to see if that's something that we can shed a bit more light on, be a bit more transparent about. And lastly, for the creator program payouts, I've had quite a few questions there. If you have funds in pending settlement status, then that's fantastic. Really happy for you. They will clear on the 15th, and you should receive an email to the address tied to your Civitai account, and also an on-site notification, I believe, telling you the next steps for withdrawal. You'll have to create an account with our payout partner, Chipotle, fill out some tax docs, standard stuff, enter your banking info. That's all handled by Chipotle. They're a reputable place. They handle Roblox payments, National Geographic, I think GoDaddy. So you're in good hands. And once you have your Chipotle account set up, you can edit all your details via the Civitai account page at any time. If you're struggling with anything related to the payouts, getting set up, then wait until the 15th. That's when things will all start to happen. And then shoot us a message to support@civitai.com if you are still having trouble. I had a question there and I just lost it. Reposting. Any news on, not related, but let's answer this first. Writing stuff, perchance, from Valentine Designs. What exactly do you mean there? Can you elaborate a little bit there? Writing stuff. When are we getting noob on the on-site trainer? I don't have an ETA, I'm afraid. The guy that works on our trainer also works on 100 other things, and where he's getting pulled in a lot of different directions right now, but it's still on the list. He's currently implementing the WAN and Hunyuan video LoRa training. All right. Let's talk about, last week I touched on some of the changes required to satisfy payment providers and, to make things easier for us to navigate this kind of increasingly hostile AI landscape. there's a lot of proposed legislation. There, or in the case of Europe, there's a lot of new legislation which has recently come into effect, which could be troublesome for us. We're watching that closely. I was hoping that we'd have launched the first round of changes by today, so we could go over things together. But it appears that we're not quite ready there. It will be soon. There's a bunch of changes coming, but don't panic. Not safe for work content is safe. What's coming is just going to be and a bit of an inconvenience, a little bit of adjustment, but not a disaster for the community at all. Just changes. And yeah, like I said, hoped it would be out today, but it doesn't look like it's going to be ready for a while yet. Unfortunately, every new feature that we release, like auctions, for example, increases the code base by like 6,000 lines of code for auctions, and that makes it harder and harder to implement new stuff. So we're working on it. Question there, Valentine designs like writing, story, comics, etc. Focus tools. Actually, yes, 100%. Yes. Justin has mapped out something for exactly like you're talking about, like comic book creation tools, yes. However, it's had to be given a back seat this month because of some of the tools and the changes that we're having to make that I just spoke about for the payment providers issue that we're having. Yep, so that'll be back to the 4 as soon as we've got past this hurdle. Cool. All right. This has been a quick one today. Before I go, I really have to run off. I'll take some questions at the end. We'll see what we can answer. One thing I did want to bring up was new image gen models. So have you all tried GPT-4's image generation model? It's just literally out of this world. It makes Stable Diffusion, it makes Flux look like kids' finger paintings. Like, let me have a look. Let me paste this in the chat here. If you haven't seen it, you're just going to be blown away. And it is as good as the examples show you. So this, for example, like that image with readable text, these are actual images generated by the generator. I got a question, when are we getting that on site? There's no API for it yet, but it's coming in the next, they said it within weeks, we'll have access to the API. There's literally no information about the costs yet either. But yeah, look at this stuff, right? Consistent characters, like signs that you can actually read, like paragraphs of text here. My mouse wheel's broken. Look at that. Very, very cool stuff. Oh, man, look at that. It's insane. And it actually works that well. I've got a real world example I can show you in a sec. It's just leaps ahead of any image generation that we've got right now. Very, very cool. Yeah, the example that I have was, oh yeah, another thing it does, before I get into that, hex codes. You can actually prompt for hex codes, exact colors, and it will give you those colors in your images. My real world example is kind of, yeah, it's not great compared to some of these. But yeah, so I've got tattoos. I've been slowly building up a Celtic sleeve, and I wanted a depiction of 2 prominent Celtic goddesses, or same one technically, I suppose. No image gen that I've tried has been able to accurately, translate my brain vision into reality. And GPT-4 just nailed it. I just described it. Didn't need to be in prompt format, obviously. I just talked with GPT-4 about it, and we worked through some iterations. And it's not like different seeds, where or image to image. It's not even like that. I don't know how it works. It's just phenomenal. So I started off with like super basic concept, and we just worked it down. I gave it some more prompts. It gave me some ideas, some things I said, I don't really like that, take that out. And then I said, something's still missing. And I gave it an example image down here. And I uploaded a file that I just found, some random file that I found with some elements in it that I quite liked. And it kept the same composition, and it threw in some of these beautiful images, like aspects of this image that I really liked. So amazing, just fantastic stuff. Faye has been using it for a lot of content. Oh, actually, I can show you. If we go to the shop, you all get your Civchan cosmetics. So she photoshopped Civbot's face here, right? But the lighting wasn't correct. So she just fed the whole banner into GPT-4 and said, hey, the lighting's not right on Civbot's face. Can you fix it, please? And it just regenerated just with that specific part fixed. Really, really cool. So I am so stoked to get this on the site. But again, no clue how much it's going to cost. Probably it's going to be, significant, I would expect. Yeah, so good stuff. All right, questions. Let me just read through the chat real quick and we shall see. Do you think it'll be cheaper than Flux to use? I've got no clue, to be honest. I wouldn't think so. It's hard to tell with OpenAI. It's really hard to tell. But as soon as we get the API documentation, we will let you know. Nubai on the trainer. Were you talking about EPS and vpred? Yes. These are vpred options are coming for sure. That's also an issue for us, though. vpred didn't exist when Civitai was created, and we don't have good filtering for that sort of thing. And looking ahead, looking into the future, we're going to run into more of these issues, and we have to be careful about how we implement this. So that's also something that needs looked at. What do you think about WAN LoRa's? Like the quality of them? And they're coming to the website. We're training them right now. We've got the training working. There's just a whole bunch of front end work that needs to be done, but they are on the way. Other questions? Let's see. Anything else? Problems? Nothing. That's good to hear. But yeah, if you didn't hear at the start, Civchan, the bot that we have running right now, she's going to stick around until the end of the week, potentially longer, but we have to figure out some, there's some back-end stuff that we'll have to discuss. Cost, there's a cost involved. We do need Civbot, even though he's kind of shitty. Sorry, Civbot, he is. We do need him because a lot of people have been coming to Civchan and asking, hey, legitimate support questions that Civbot might have been able to handle, and they've just got such terrible abuse in response. So that really can't go on. We might make it optional. There's a potential that we'll be able to add a different personality toggle in the account options, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't understand what you're saying, Valentine Design. Sorry. Yep, that is right. All of these at once, right? Oh, the message received sound is annoying when you're listening to music. Are you talking about in the DM system? So there was meant to be, I don't know. Okay, go and check this out. This was meant to be another part of Civchan's takeover, but it never really worked that well. So it works on Brave, I'm told. If you go and message someone through the DM system in Brave, it should play, instead of the bing bong noise, uh, it should play the uwu, clip. I'm not going to do it because, I, yeah, it should uwu at you. And it works on Brave, but it doesn't work in Chrome, and we just couldn't figure it out in time. But that's why you can't turn off the sound right now. It says no muting for Senpai, and every time you send a message, it's meant to uwu at you. So go and somebody give it a go on Brave. Tell me if it works. The other thing that I did want to get working, but we just didn't have time, was to have the uwu play every time you sent a message to Civchan as well. That would have been incredibly annoying and fantastic. You know what's really funny? Brett, our developer, Brett, he is an uwu master. He's been practicing all week, and just a coincidence that he's now got a sore throat and he's been off sick today. But also, Axiom of Faith, it startled you when you heard it for the first time, so it is working. Fantastic. Since you removed the bot, it takes a long time to request access to Civitai through external emails such as Hotmail. That's just a coincidence, to be honest. That's nothing to do with Civ bot being removed. A couple of days ago, we started to see issues there. Are you still getting issues with Hotmail and Outlook? Because we can see those emails. I should have mentioned this when we talked about issues. We can see those emails leaving our mail server, but for some reason they don't seem to be reaching you guys. And we thought it was an issue at Hotmail's side because Hotmail and Outlook are both Microsoft products. We thought it was an issue at their side, but if you're telling me that it's still ongoing, that it might be a bigger issue. Can you, if you have got a support ticket open, or if you haven't, please submit one, and we'll take a look at that. Is it true that the case that Civchan is a GPT-4 fine-tune? It's not. We're using DeepSeek. And it's funny because I've seen people try to jailbreak her and one guy did, he managed to put her into a mode where she explained her system prompts, but they were all complete nonsense. She'd made them up. She told him that she was GPT-4 4.0, like 16K, but that's complete nonsense. She's DeepSeek. And then she listed out a bunch of system prompts, which were absolute rubbish, but they were hilarious, but they were just not the truth. So really funny. Release the weights. So we don't actually have weights. That's not how it works. It's not a trained model as such, but we'll go into that. We're going to have a stream, like a debriefing stream, not this Friday, not sure about next Friday. Sometime we'll find a time to fit that in, but we'll have a debriefing stream. We'll show you how it works, how it's all put together, and we can go through some of the absolutely crazy conversations that I've been reading from you guys. Let me see, do I have one that I can bring up right now? I don't think I've got anything safe, like sanitized. No, not right now. But some of the stuff, just outrageous. I'm not even sure if we'd get away talking about it on stream. Like, she told one user that, I can't remember what he said. I think he said, I just bought cosmetics in the shop. And she responded, I'm ovulating. And oh man, that was one of the ones that came up while I was on with the CEO of the middleware that we use to run this thing. And I was just hoping, do not read that. But yeah, good stuff. Are we using the v3.0324 version of DeepSeek? I don't know. So they've got two versions right now. They've got like a research and they've got like a chat version, right? So we can get into the details too when we have the stream. We'll talk all about it. Yes, you can. Yep, that's exactly what she said. But She is getting a bit annoying to some people who actually want to, opt out, or they want to know specific support related stuff. So yeah, she does have to go at the end of the week. But like I said, we'll look into keeping her around as an optional personality. But yeah, the money is an issue there. All right. I think that's it from me today, if nobody's got any more questions. If you've got questions that come up after I leave, for sure, send me a DM. You can join the Discord. You can message me there. You can message me on site. If it's a bigger issue, you can shoot a message to support@civitai.com or create a ticket from the support button, the bottom right corner down here. And I will be back with you again next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And do not forget to tune in, same place, for Kale's stream on Friday. You can see it you'll see in the Twitch schedule down below if you're watching on Twitch. And if not, if you're in the Discord, there's an event that will go live when he goes live. Good stuff. If you missed the whole thing, like Mr. Adog, or Mrs. Adog, sorry, then this VOD will be up on Twitch just momentarily once we finish streaming. All right, guys, it's been awesome. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for tuning in, getting all the news, and I will catch you next week. Bye-bye.